go.
Audio Jungle.
Yeah. I really got the feeling today
Audio Jungle.
that everything is going my way. Now this is what I'm talking about.
Audio Jungle.
Every time I see your smile, it makes me shout. Let's go.
Audio Jungle.
Let's go. Nothing's gonna stop us today.
Audio Jungle.
Get on the bus or get out the way. We're cruising with the radio on.
Audio Jungle.
So turn it up to 10. Here comes our favorite song. Let's go.
Audio Jungle.
Let's go. Let's go.
Audio Jungle.
Let's go.
Hello, welcome to another episode of IoT Tuesday. I'm your host, Samuel Adranyin. It's another awesome Tuesday, and you know when it's Tuesdays, it's just IoT Tuesdays. Welcome again. Before we continue, happy International Men's Day to all the men out there, men. Um, I know it's a celebration of manhood, family and all that. So happy International Men's Anniversary, whatever that is, to all the men. Thank you. Today, we're going to be talking about IoT, as always. We'll be talking about the Microsoft Azure Sphere. And in particular, we'll be talking about the MT3620 Dev Kit. Stay with me, don't go anywhere. When we come back, we will be looking at that. So, welcome back. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you find yourself on the continent. This is the IoT Tuesday shows hosted by me, yours truly, Samuel Adranyi. Thank you for all the comments and feedback I received through my various social media posts. I'm grateful. Trying to make the show a good one for you with content that you love and always want to come back to. So please keep them coming. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell another friend. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, to my Twitch channel, go watch it. And hey, just send me a message or anything if you have any specific project or something you want to work on. So today, like I mentioned, we are going to be taking a look at the Microsoft Azure Sphere, what that whole thing is about, what's the fuss about it. We're going to take a look at one particular dev kit, and then if time permits, we'll try to, work with the kit. I have one that I used a couple of times, but that was, the very early stages of the sphere, so I know we'll have to go through some hurdle. If that becomes a problem, I have a new kit. We'll just open that up and go through the step. I want to walk through the steps with you so that we can all appreciate that. So, that is what we have for you today. In other news, before we move on, don't forget that the AI Bootcamp, Global AI Bootcamp, is happening, hosted in Ghana by the Accra.net user group, happening on the 14th of December. Make a date, mark it on your calendar, and don't forget that. Also, do well to join Accra.net user group, bunch of .NET developers that love .NET technologies and want to share, and learn with you as well. So let's get right into it. So before we get into it, let's pause a bit and talk about IoT security. Now, if you have been in the IoT space, security is one of the key things, or one of the big problems when it comes to IoT, because there's always the concern of are my devices or my platforms secured? Those are questions that we keep asking. So it's a huge thing. We want to give you some examples. For instance, this whole breach with baby monitors that happened where people will never change the default passwords on the devices. allowed hackers and malicious users to go into those cameras, change URLs and kind of like bully and do some crazy things on the baby monitors and other smart devices. Now, there was also another incident in the US where connected traffic lights, um, though the traffic lights, the systems were secured, the ground sensors that actually allowed or triggered the changes in the traffic light were not secured, and therefore malicious users actually hacked it and caused, some huge problems. So IoT security is a huge thing. Whether you are in the maker space as a hobbyist or even as a professional, IoT security is a huge, huge issue. That is where Azure comes in, or that is where Microsoft comes in with the Azure Sphere. Now, basically, the Azure Sphere is just an end-to-end solution, okay, that contains three complementary components, which I will explain shortly. It provides a secured IoT platform, okay, that allows you to build secured applications. So you know that application you're developing, security is being, taken care of, or security is baked in into the application. Now, the Azure Sphere includes the Azure Sphere microcontroller unit. It includes an operating system that is optimized for IoT scenarios, and it's fully managed by Microsoft. So you don't need to worry about security in terms of on your personal basis, but then you have a whole team of a Microsoft IoT security team that's managing that for you. And then all this is done and allows you to scale and use a suite of services secured, in the cloud. Now, one thing to note is that Azure Sphere was built upon the consideration from the Xbox team because Xbox has one of the some of the toughest security components in it. So they actually derive from the Xbox team to build onto the Azure Sphere. Now, so the Sphere has three architectures. Now, actually, let me take you to let's see. Let's see if we can get to the official page so that I can show you that so you can see that. Let's go to the Azure Sphere. Welcome to my users. Welcome. Hopefully you're having a great Tuesday. So let's go to Azure Sphere and let's flip to this. Yep. So you can take a close look at that. Let's also get this running from this side. Okay, so this is the, let me zoom this in a bit so you can see that. So it makes it easy for me to explain what I'm talking about. So this is the official Azure Sphere page, as you can see. So pretty much comprehensive IoT security solution end to end that includes hardware, OS, and cloud components. So these are the key features: defense in depth, deployment flexibility, over the air update. So defense in depth provides multiple layers of protection. I'm going to talk about this in a short while. So this is the overview of the features you get when you use the Azure Sphere. So let's go back and let me elaborate on those things. So like I mentioned, it has three components, okay, three main components. The first one is the Azure Sphere certified microcontroller unit, or microcontroller processing unit, or whatever you might want to call it. So there are three, all right. There are three separate, you know, individually accessible components which I'll talk about. Now, but the secured MCU is one. What does that mean? It means that the microcontroller chips are actually secured from the manufacturers. So Microsoft is aware of the public key infrastructure for the chips, but not a private key. So there's some kind of understanding or relationship between Microsoft and the chip developers that makes it so the chips are secured from source or from the manufacturer. That's another advantage. The second component is that it has an Azure Sphere OS operating system, which is actually a custom Linux based kernel, but has no shell. So there's no like UI or anything for you to, but it's a custom based Linux shell. The third component is the Azure Sphere Security Service. So what Azure Sphere Security Service does is it handles all the authentication, update, failure reporting over the air, update configuration servicing, it handles that. So these are the three core component of the Azure Sphere. Now, one key thing to understand is that the security aspect of Azure Sphere is actually managed by something called the Microsoft Pluton. Now, so Microsoft Pluton is the source of truth. It is a root of trust. It is the hardware-based cryptography system on the Azure Sphere MCUs. So, which means that it's hardware-based. It manages all the security, encryption, cryptography, all those things, generation of keys, securing them is handled by the Microsoft Pluton subsystem on the Azure Sphere. Now, on the hardware itself, there are few things. Let me switch now to the bench so I can show you. So this is the packaging for the Azure Sphere dev kit. This is the this is the one in conjunction with Seed Studios. There is another one, I think, Avnet. I have that, but it's not yet in the country. So once it gets in town, I'll do another episode showing you how to also set that up. So this is the kit we'll be using today. So this is how it looks like. At the moment, I've connected it. This is one of the old ones I was using uh, during the beta stages. So I'm actually trying to recover the image and make it workable. Else, I'll just go ahead and uh, make it easy for us to use a new kit. So this is how it looks. This is how the kit looks. Now this one actually comes with the Seed Studio version comes with a hat or a shield. If you've been doing IoT development, Arduino and the rest, this is a shield. This is a groove shield that actually sits. So it sits on top. Let's see if I can put this in properly. Yeah. So this sits. Yeah. Let's push this in. Let's make sure that we have this. Oh. Yeah. We missed something. So let me take it out. I missed so three. Yeah. Let's make sure we get, yeah, it should be this way. Awesome. Yeah. Yep. So there you go. And it has some standoffs that allows you just to, secure it properly. You realize that this has a CMOS clock. This is for a real-time clock. If you intend to do some real-time applications, you need to affix this battery here so you can do the real-time work. Now, the good thing about the hat or the shield is that I don't need any breadboard. So it allows me to actually use groove sensors. As you can see here, we have a bunch of the groove sensors. This is a buzzer. Let's check what this is. This is a UV sensor. What is this one? This one is a temperature. This is a temperature and humidity sensor right here. This is, I think, a light sensor. This is a light sensor. Hopefully it focuses well for you to see that. Yep, this is a light sensor. You can see the sensor right there. And the good thing about this is that you don't need a breadboard. We have here also a GPS module. Yeah, we have a GPS module as well here. We have a motion sensor. We have a motion sensor right here. Hopefully this will focus. Uh, yep, we have a motion sensor here. This is just a regular button. Just a regular button with all the analog to digital converters. This is a potentiometer. You can just tweak this. We have a relay. So this is a relay. This is a relay you can use. So the good thing, and here's this is a moisture, it's a soil moisture sensor. This is how it looks. So the good thing about this is that I could pick, I could just get um, I could get this cable right here if it's a relay I want to use. Just connect it. Um, yep, connect it here, and then I think there's an I square. Just put it right there. Whether it is UART, I2, I squared C, GPIO, or it's analog, whichever it is, just connect it and see the relay is connected. As just as simple as that. So this takes away, and I can connect the other devices I want to control with this relay with this. I'll connect something to this and we'll trigger it from the Azure Sphere board. But for now, that's just how it works. So I'm going to take this out and leave it here for now. So these are the various sensors you can use. If we're using the Avent board, which is a much recent one, they also have a bunch of sensors. I think they have over 700 and something additions or kits you can add. So on the hardware, let's come back to this hardware. On this hardware, like we mentioned, there are three processors. We have one 500 megahertz ARM A7 core, one of it, which handles operating systems and any custom applications you will build. We have two 200 megahertz M4F cores. Now these handle all the real-time processes, communications, your app, but it doesn't have any access to the internet. Now, so like I mentioned, security is one of the things that's like baked in into this kit. So you have certified devices based on authentication to any web services if you're using the Azure Sphere, the software attestation and secure boot, the threat detection by failure reporting because the Azure Sphere allows the device to report operational data and failures, so it's able to detect if something is going wrong. Then also it has an integrated end-to-end solution which is in the Azure cloud, which we're going to see how to do. And then finally, there is you see all these GPIO pins, they are secured. And one of the cool things that I really loved when the first time I tried this, when it was in the beta stage, was that conventionally, if you've been using Arduino or any other microcontroller, there are different GPIO pins on the microcontroller. You can connect peripherals to it and access it, as you want. However, on the Microsoft Azure Sphere, there are processes or there are ways to actually secure different GPIO pins. So if this was probably, let's say, embedded in a washing machine, I can say that the washing machine application can only access 3 GPIO pins, and that's it. It cannot access any other pins. So what's happening is that there is that abstraction, or this is that layered security, and also just defining, which pins your application has access to. So in that way, whatever application that is deployed, if the application is not allowed permission to use a GPIO pin, it will not be able to use it to, cause any breach. Think of it as the way when you install an app on your phone, you need to give the app permission to use, location and all that. Quite similar, which is very interesting when it comes to the space of IoT. Um, so I thought it was, a good thing. So what happened was that the Microsoft team came up with 7 principles or 7 properties of what a secured IoT platform should be. The first one is it should have a hardware-based root of trust. It should have a hardware-based root of trust. Now, what that means is that it shouldn't be a software-based root of trust that can be manipulated. So in our case, for the Azure Sphere, that is Microsoft Pluton. That handles all, the root trust and authentication, security, everything for it. So it passes. The second property is it should be small, it should have a small trust computing base. And in this case, Pluton is also doing that. It's the only subsystem that is running all the core, systems on the Azure Sphere. The third property is that defense in depth. The microcontroller or the secured MCU should have defense in depth. And what that means is that it should have multiple layers of security. And if you have multiple layers of security, it means that you have multiple layers of mitigation, and that ensures that each layer in the section or above each other is secure. The fourth property is compartmentalization. Now, what this means is that it's separated, and what it causes is it limits the reach to single, failures. So if one component fails, it doesn't affect or breach the other components. Now, the fifth one is certificate-based authentication. In Azure Sphere or in any trusted or secured platform, there is no username and password. No, everything is security and certificate based. So which means that whether you are doing cloud communication, application level operations, it needs to be secured via a certificate. So there's a lot more security and hardening as opposed to regular username and password. Now the sixth thing is there should be renewable security. So automatic and timely update without either the manufacturer or you as the user updating it. It should happen automatically. And finally, any secure platform should have failure reporting. It should be able to report operational data and failure to the platform that will enable for automatic servicing to be performed remotely. So these are just, on the average, just like, quick high overview of what the Azure Sphere is, the hardware, all the security things pertaining to it. Quickly, that's just, on it. So right now we're going to try to jump into it to see how do we get started. How do we get it running? So first of all, you need to have the kit. In our situation, we have the kit. We have this kit. So this is a new one. Um, I would try. I'm trying to get this old one to work, but I believe that it would serve us well if I just go ahead. Um, if I just go ahead and, for us to just use this so that I could spend time to do this later on. So I think that would be a much wiser decision. So which means I'll have to recover and do some stuff. So now, um, bear in mind that because this is, is this whole secured and trusted stuff, there are some things I can't show because that will compromise the integrity of my device because there are certain keys and and IDs that I am not supposed to share. So some of the things I'm going to bring out Notepad, and then I would share the snippet. I'll share the snippet with Notepad, but I promise you, I'll do a step-by-step video with all the keys and all that blurred out, and I'll do another video and post it on my blog and my YouTube channel or Twitch so that you can see that. But for now, let's actually get rid of this. Let's put this one here for now, and let's go ahead and unbox this. So this is going to be like the very first unboxing episode we have on IoT Tuesday. So let's open this up. Yep, it's void. There's there's a nice card here that tells you blah blah blah, all the cool things you can do with it. Don't need that now. And yep, there you go. Yep, this is a USB cable for it. Since we already have one USB cable going, I don't need this. And then there we go, standoff. Cool. So I think what I should do is let me take this one out for now. Let me put it here, and let me put this one back so that I don't so that I don't mix it up, because this is going to be a new one. This is going to be a new one. So yeah, that's just about it. That's all in the box. There's probably like another manual or something, but we don't need that. So I'll put this here. And yep, let's throw this on it somewhere. Okay, so there we go. We have that set up. Now, a few things. So we have a kit. Now you need to download and install the Azure Sphere SDK. Uh, where is that? Where is that? Where is that? Let me show you something. Let's do the Azure Sphere SDK, and let's flip here. I want to show you something. So there are two versions of the SDK. All right, there are two versions of the SDK. The we have the SDK one for Visual Studio. All right, and then we have one for Windows. Let's see. You know what? Let's go here. Where is that? Get started with the kit overview. Uh, yes. So let me open this here. Yeah. So this is what I was trying to show you. So yeah, these are the two kit. These are the two SDKs. We have the Azure Sphere preview for Visual Studio. Hopefully you can see this. Yes, the preview for Visual Studio, and the Azure Sphere SDK preview for Windows. Now, you can't install both of them. You need to install one. So as you can see the difference, the Azure Sphere SDK preview for Visual Studio supports development on Windows using Visual Studio integration. So pretty much this allows you to use Visual Studio and also command line interfaces to develop for the Azure Sphere. But if you download this and install this one, that one is just command line, right? But they both have all the things you need. I have installed the preview for Visual Studio. So that's the first thing you do. So you install that and then you connect the device, right? So let's just, you know what, let's walk through this. So we've installed that. I have set up my PC for development. Now I need to claim the device. Now, the first thing you do when you get your kit is to claim the device. So um, I I'm going to flip here because uh, some of this part has some sensitive stuff. So I have already installed it. So let me show you this before I flip again. So if I go to my start and I type Azure Sphere command, yep, I'm going to run this as an administrator. That is okay. And if I zoom in, so the command is az sphere. When I do this, as you can see, it tells me these are the options I have that I can use. So I can do Azure AZ Sphere dev, login, logout, device, tenant, show version, show user, um, different register user, product, logout, login, the image, the hardware, get supported data, and all that. So there's some IntelliSense in there. I have installed, and you can see the version I'm using is 19.10.6, blah blah blah. So you need to install that. Once that is done, we go ahead and connect. Let's connect the device. So let's connect the device. I think I should bring this here. So I'm just going to go ahead and connect this. Yep, let's leave that. And it popped up stuff on my PC. It's trying to set it up. Let's see who is tweeting at me. Who is tweeting at me? Twitter, who is tweeting at me? Ba, 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 ba. Okay. I hate this. Well, let's see what we have. Let's check this out. So, 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Okay. All right. So, this is connected. So, right now, let's go back. Let me bring this out here since that is what we'll be using. Now, so I need to claim the device now, right? We need to claim the device. Like I mentioned, some of the things I can't show in here because it's going to be kind of like a security thing, but I can say, so like I mentioned, it's AZ Sphere and the command begin. So this is a new kit. I need to claim it, and I'm going to run the command, but then I can't show the command because of it would expose my hardware ID. So like I mentioned, I would bring I'll record the video separately and blur those out and show you. So let's go ahead. It says we need to claim the device. Yep, and because um this is prior to the old ones. I think this I can show you this. So let me go ahead. Because this is one of the old ones, I can do Azure Sphere device recover. So the reason why I am running device recover is that this kit Um, this one is one of the very early ones that I got, and there has been some updates as well. So that means that it might not be able to get the latest version. So it's advisable that you always do a device recovery, uh, so that it gets the latest, firmware and latest images for secured images for this. So whilst we wait for that to happen, you need either a organization, personal or school Microsoft account to claim the device. And now every a device can be claimed once in one tenant, cannot move in multiple tenants. So I had one earlier, and honestly, I've forgotten for the old sphere. I'll try to figure that out, but luckily we have a new one. So I would stick I'll stick to the new one. I'll use a more recent ID that I remember to claim it. And now, so once we claim it, I will then go ahead, create the certificate, show you how to create the certificate, and then we'll we'll start making, having some fun. Now, like again, if you have any question relating to IoT, especially on the cloud, or you have any IoT project or anything you want us to brainstorm, or you want us to just huddle and create some solutions or something, hey, I'm always available. You can tweet at me, you can um, send me a message. I will gladly respond. So no need to be shy. Um, I gotcha. I gotcha. I gotcha. I gotcha. Someone will say I gotcha. Interesting times. Now, how many of you believe that IoT is the next big thing? With big data. Now, think about it. We have, you'll have smart watches, um, all these connected things, need some form of security. So you can't just, downplay the importance of security when it comes to IoT. And the level at which IoT, is taking us, oh, well, if you're not into it, well, it's time to take a look at it. So, hey, be on the watch out for some routers that I'm planning coming to you, closest to you, in the universities near you. So just keep an eye on that. Free workshops on IoT. Awesome. So, you can also watch me currently live on Periscope or Twitter or almost all my social media handles. So the device is recovered. Yep, our device is recovered. So um, yep, that was what I was trying to hide. So now I'm gonna take you to the workbench because that information. Let's see. Oh yeah, I'm not worried because yeah, there was more that you didn't see, so that's a good thing for me. So yeah, so my device has been recovered with a new image. So we're going to go forward. We're going to go ahead and yeah, just follow it up and see how that works. So let's do this. Let's do this. Well, let's see. How about we do this? 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 Um, could we do this and then um ba, 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 ba. Let's see. What is this? I'm trying to find. Okay, let's see. Yep. Uh Okay, yep, that's what I wanted to do. Thank you very much. That has been done. Okay, so awesome. So now we've claimed the device. We've recovered the device. So the next thing for us to do is to claim the device. So to do that, I will use the AZ sphere, uh, and then what? Login, right? And this is I've never logged into Azure Sphere with this particular account, so I'm going to do a new user, and then I'm going to use my username. So let me show you this, actually cover this out. Let's do this. Okay, so now I can copy this and bring this here. Like I mentioned, I'm going to. So this is the first command that I'm going to issue. Okay, this is the first command that I'm going to issue. That is the AG sphere logging, a new user, and then here you can go ahead and provide, at whatever, .com. All right. And this provisioning start for you. So it tells me that this is a new user. If you previously have connected to it, you just log in and then you either create a new tenant or migrate. So in our case, it's a new kit. We've done nothing to it. So that's what I'm going to use for now. So um, yeah, I'm going to try to run that, but I'm going to hide that from you for the sakes of security. I'm going to run that, and all that's going to do is it's going to pop up like kind of like a frame for me to log in. All right, so registration successful. Press any key to log on. I press the key. It opens up. It shows me a browser, mini browser for me to enter signing. All right, so we're using Outlook. That's what we're using. We've already signed into that, so that is one of the things is that yeah, so now it's telling me I don't have access to Azure Sphere, and I need, hold on, let's see, how do I do this? If I have, can I have a floating um can I have a floating object that I can use to cover stuff? This is just me thinking, outside the box. So if I have, let's say, something I can use to cover like security things, yeah, that works. That works. Okay, so yeah, I'm using that to cover a few things. So login successful. It says that login is successful, but I don't have access to any Azure Sphere tenant. So I can either run, Azure Sphere tenant create the name of the tenant, or if I've used Azure Sphere before and I have a tenant, then I can use Azure Sphere tenant migrate, which means I'm migrating from an old tenant to a new tenant, right? So right now we're going to create a new tenant. That's what we're going to do. We're going to create a new tenant. So let's go ahead and do that. So again, AZ or AZ sphere. Pardon me, I'm from a different continent. My phonetics and my accent are totally flawed. So AZ sphere tenant create, and then the name of the tenant. So again, I'm going to copy this and share this with you. So before I go, uh, and then this one could be the name. All right. So let's flip. So this is the second command. Az sphere tenant create the name and move on. Okay. So that's the second. That is the second command. All right. So let's do this. So how do I call this? Let's call this demystify technology, right? Yeah, because that's the mother, that's the name of the mother show that all this is springing from. Or uh, we can just call, since we're doing everything IoT here, why don't we call it IoT Tuesday? So the tenant is called IoT Tuesday. Okay. Um, so let's see. I'm contemplating. Let's just keep it simple. IoT Tuesday. Any suggestions on the name for the tenant? I'm going to give you like a minute, and then if no one suggests it, I'll just go with the flow. I would just go with the flow. I would just go with the flow. I would just go with the flow. Yeah, now I become a rapper. That's funny. Yeah. Um. So all my friends who have refused to join the channel and learn, the next time you call me to solve your problems, I'll tell you go and watch my stream. Just kidding, messing up with you. Okay, so we're going to keep it. We're going to keep it to We're going to keep it to, how do we call that? Boop, 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 boop. Create a tenant. Okay, so yeah, so we're going to create a tenant called IoT Tuesday. So let's go ahead. I've done that. I'm waiting for it to come up. So you logged on and that's it. And I say yes. And yes, my tenant is created. Now, due to setting security reasons as well, I can't share this site also with you because it contains information about my tenant. So, so let's do this. So I'm just trying to copy. So the tenant name that I can share with you, IoT Tuesday. So let's do this and bring this here. So the tenant name IoT Tuesday, there's a tenant ID I can share with you. And now the third command we're using for tonight is azsphere what device claim. So what we are doing now is we are claiming this particular device into our tenant, right? And it's claimed. So now our device has been successfully claimed. So let's do this to device ID. And I can do this and yep, it's been claimed into the tenant. And this is the device ID. Copy. Unfortunately, guys, I can't share the device ID with you. Alright, so I can share, I'm going to copy this and share the code with you. Whilst I do that, I'm going to clear the whole console. And then, let's go back here. And this is the third command. So, Azure device claim. So, we've claimed the device. Now, once we have claimed the device, now the next thing we need to do, right, is configure a network. So we need to configure a network so that we can actually get updates onto our device. All right, get updates onto our device. So we're going to move on to the next phase, which is configuring a network. So I'm going to add the device to our Wi-Fi. All right. So don't forget the steps. You'd have installed the SDK and set up the board. You'd have claimed the device. Um, and then, so we're just going to connect to the Wi-Fi, all right, and then proceed to get some updates. I think that I can share with you. So we have the board connected, we have the command prompt. Pa, 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 pa. Okay, let's see. I'm sure I can share this with you, so we can do this. Okay, so we can do AG sphere. And you can see it follows a very simple pattern. It's tenant or device. So this is about the device. So device, let's do Wi-Fi status. Oh, what did I do? What did I do? What did I? Oh, okay. I actually used the wrong. I used the wrong one. It's actually supposed to be Wi-Fi. Okay, device Wi-Fi, and then show status. So as you can see, it's not connected to anything. All right, there's no Wi-Fi connection. All right, so we are now going to connect it, but for the sake of not exposing my Wi-Fi, SSID and password, we are taking you to have a very beautiful look of our board. All right. Whilst I don't so I don't bore you with that. So again, let me copy this and put here since we are sharing. We're kind of like going through all the commands we're using. So AG sphere, and then it's Wi-Fi, right? And then we call add. So we're adding the Wi-Fi and SSID. We need to specify the SSID. I think mine is, and I'm tempted to say it, but I won't say it. And then my passkey is awesome. So I do this. Uh, 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 CLS. So there you go. Device. Okay. And you can see some indications going on the board. All right. Um, so yeah, right now we've done that. And let's see. Let's see. Okay. 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 Mm, now let me try to call this again to see if it's connected. Yes, so it's connected now. So our device is connected to our internet. You can see the IP address, the MAC address, everything is done. So now our device is connected to the internet. So right now I can go ahead on the next state. So it shows us the connections and all that. Now, once we have this, we need to now, you know, receive updates. So one thing I'm going to do, there's one command that I'm going to run. This would allow me, I think I can share this. No, I can't because that is also has some security. So AZ Sphere, Azure Sphere. Okay, yeah, that's better. Azure Sphere. Um, device. I think device show over the air status. Okay. Okay. So yeah. So Azure Sphere device show OTA status. Mm-mm-mm. Okay. So let's do this. Wi-Fi show count. Wi-Fi deployment status. Yeah, so show deployment status. So let's do that. Let's check that. So we can recover. We recovered, we restarted. We have the images. So let's actually do this. Device, let's show OS version. Okay, so it's running Azure Sphere version. I can actually share this. So when I run the command show OS version, it tells me it's running um, version 19. So if I try this, show deployment status. Yeah, so your Azure Sphere Security Service is targeting this device with Azure Sphere OS version 19.10. Your device has the expected version of Azure Sphere OS 19.10. So which means at this point, my device has the latest OS update. Now, so now that we have this, the next logical thing is, you want to subscribe to notifications and all that just to get update or update on your how do you call it, and that you can do when you're logged into the Azure portal. But now we pretty much have got this device ready to develop. So that is how to quickly set up an Azure Sphere kit to claim the device, and two, make it ready for development. Now, there is one thing that I want us to look at before I go. So we've configured. I just wanted to show you. Pa, 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 pam. I just wanted to show application development. Let's see. I wanted to show you how to. You know what? Let's just keep that. Let me keep you in suspense for the next episode. So, thanks for watching me. Today we've seen how to unbox the Azure Sphere dev kit. We've seen how to claim a device, prepare a device. In next week's episode, I'm going to show you how to prepare this kit for development, and then we're going to deploy a simple application. We'll debug it, and then we'll see how to add one of these Groove seed sensors, and then play around with it. So until next week. But don't forget, Friday is Functions Friday. Have some updates coming for you. We're going to take a look at bindings. We'll do one binding, and then make a day with me on Sunday for Demystify Code. Until then, thank you for making a day with me today. Please subscribe, share, spread the word, bring out some ideas or solutions we can build. Tell your friends about the channel. Let's learn. Let's learn something each week and be better people to help the world. Until then, this has been IoT Tuesday with yours truly, Samuel Atrani.